Ever have somebody's comment ruin your whole day? Raise your hand. You're driving home and still replaying it, rehearsing comebacks in the shower. Meanwhile, they've moved on, and yet they're living in your head rent free. One comment, one look, and suddenly your entire mood shifts for the rest of the day. You've essentially given them the power to control your emotions. But here's the thing, emotional freedom isn't about fixing people. It's about learning how to stay grounded even if they don't change. And today I'll show you exactly how to do that, how to detach, stay unbothered, and protect your peace no matter what energy people send your way. Here's the thing. Most people think triggers are a problem. Like, why am I so emotional? Or why can't I just not care? But being triggered doesn't make you weak. It makes you human. It's your nervous system saying, hey, there's something here that we still haven't healed yet. And I get it. As somebody who's worked really hard on personal growth and loving myself and managing my emotions, it can be frustrating when someone still gets to you like that. You're like, seriously, why is this still bothering me? Why can't I let this go? But being emotionally grounded doesn't mean you never get triggered. It means you know how to come back to yourself faster when you do. So, number one, triggers aren't the problem. They're your mirror. For a long time, I thought the goal was to never get triggered. Like if I could just be chill enough, nothing would ever faze me. Spoiler alert, that's not how it works. Triggers aren't the enemy. They're a mirror. They're showing you what still needs your attention. Because a lot of the times, it's not really what the person's saying to you that's the trigger. It's what it brings up within you. Because if I'm being completely honest, even with my own experiences, not everything everyone says triggers me. A lot of the time, somebody can say something to me and I don't even care. And sure, I've worked a lot on my triggers, but there are still a couple that I recognize I still have to work on, but I've become better at managing them. But say if somebody were to come up to me on the street and be like, that outfit is so hideous. It does not look good. Okay. And like, it would not even faze me because there's nothing in that touches a nerve within me. Something that I still am working towards that I've gotten a lot better at, and I'm going to talk a little bit about later, is when people make comments about my body. But I've gotten better at reeling myself in and pausing because I understand that that's a trigger for me. So the next time somebody's attitude or something they say bothers you, step back and ask yourself, why does this sting so much? Because that's where the healing actually starts and can help you detach from the situation. Because let's be real, you can't fix what you won't face. So let's talk about detachment because this word gets thrown around a lot. Detachment doesn't mean pretending you don't care. It means caring without collapsing. It's not shutting off your emotions. It's learning how to hold them without letting them take over. There is a big difference between avoidance, rumination, and detachment. Avoidance sounds like, I don't feel anything. I don't care. This doesn't bother me. Yeah, it does. Rumination sounds like, but why did they say that? Was it me? Am I the problem? Do they hate me? Are they upset at me? What should I say to them tomorrow? Like, should I reach out to them? And spiraling and overanalyzing the situation. Both are ways of avoiding processing the emotion. One stuffs it down, the other one gets stuck in it. Detachment is the middle ground. It's saying, I feel something, it's valid, but I'm not going to let it take over my day. It starts with acknowledgement, not denial. You name what you feel, you validate it, and then you get curious, not judgmental. You can ask yourself, What is this emotion trying to tell me? Where have I felt this before? Is this about them or something this moment reminded me of? That curiosity creates distance, just enough space to observe instead of absorb. Because detachment isn't about pushing emotions away, it's about letting emotions move through you instead of clinging onto them. You don't rush to fix it, and you don't build a wall to block it. You just let it rise, teach you something, and move on. Oh, hello. Say hi, Milo. Say hi. Oh, he wants belly rub. Yeah. You want belly rub? Meow. Oh, okay. Someone has a lot to say today. Hi, do you want to say hi? Oh, no, you just want to lick my leg. This next part is something that changed how I see other people completely. But let me tell you, it's not easy. It can be a little hard because it's about empathizing without absorbing. And you may be thinking, empathize with that jerk who I just want to catapult to another galaxy? I get it. I'm with you. I've been there. So let me share a little story. I once had a coworker who was constantly making comments about my body. Well, she wasn't the only coworker, but she was the number one offender. I felt like every other week I would get comments like, "Did you lose more weight? You should eat a cheeseburger or two. You need to gain some weight before you disappear." And at first, I was so triggered. Like I said, this is still a trigger that I work on. But at the time, I would see red, but I would also freeze up and not know what to say to this because I would be in a state of shock. And I grew up feeling insecure about my body, about my skinniness. And I had people make comments about my body before. So it hit that old nerve every single time. And I would hold on to those comments throughout the day and be driving home thinking, the nerve. Who does she think she is? Why is she always commenting on my body like that? I never say anything about her body. What's her deal? But eventually I realized it wasn't about me. She was carrying her own stuff. Maybe it was insecurity, envy. Maybe she grew up having people shame her about her body. I'll never know the full story. And no, it doesn't excuse the behavior, but it does explain it because everyone is carrying their own box full of memories, pain, and old limiting beliefs. And sometimes when that box gets too heavy, some people just throw it at anybody who's standing nearby. And now, looking back at that experience, sure, what she was saying triggered and hit a nerve within me because of my pain that I was still carrying. But on the flip side, my body, for some reason, was also triggering her. The difference is that I was able to step back and recognize that her comments had more to do with her and what she was carrying. And I only hope, wherever she is now, that she was able to let go of some of those things that were in her box. When I started seeing people through that lens, I stopped taking things so personally. Now, instead of thinking, what's wrong with me? I think, what must they be carrying to make them act this way? It's not pity, it's perspective. You can empathize without excusing their behavior. That's detachment with compassion. Next, the pause. This one is hard if you're a recovering overthinker like me. When someone disrespects you, we usually want to jump in and react immediately, defend, explain, fix, sometimes even run away. We want to control the discomfort, but the pause is where your power lives. So one time a few years ago at work, I was sitting on a meeting with another team leader who was trying to attack me for a mistake that happened on a project that we had worked on together. And he was trying to throw my team under the bus and put the blame on me when I had documentation that the issue had come from his team's end. He was lashing out, yelling at me, making comments about my team's competency. Honestly, a lot of the comments that he was saying were not helpful and were not critical feedback. He just wanted to lash out and hurt. Old me would have matched their energy so fast. But I took a breath, paused, and said, I'll respond when you're ready to speak respectfully. Then I shut up. That silence was louder than anything else I could have said. And it actually made him reel back. And we were able to transition to having a civilized discussion. Because here's the truth: power isn't being loud or lashing out. Power is calm. And the pause is your reset button. So the next time someone says something to you that triggers you, and you want to respond back, pause, breathe first, and then reclaim your power with calmness. If you're going to keep yelling, I think we should put a pin in this conversation, and then we can talk once we've all calmed down. If you keep making comments about my body that are uncalled for, I'm going to have to remove myself from this conversation. No yelling, no lashing out, but standing up for yourself and showing yourself self-respect. It gives you back the steering wheel before your emotions drive the car. Here's the thing about getting triggered. It's not just about what happens in the moment. It's about what you do after. Because once someone shows you a pattern, whether it's disrespect, criticism, or passive-aggressive comments, you have a choice. You can build a wall and shut everyone else out, or you can build a standard and move differently next time. A wall says, no one's ever getting close to me again. A standard says, you can be close, but not at the expense of my peace. Let me give you an example. Remember that coworker I mentioned earlier, the one who was constantly making comments about my body? Old me would have laughed it off or stayed silent to keep the peace. Or honestly, gone home angry and replayed the moment in my head 1,000 times. But now my standard is, if someone crosses my boundary once, I address it calmly. If it happens again, I create distance. That's it. No dramatic confrontation, no emotional shutdown, because protecting your energy doesn't mean pretending that things don't bother you or that your triggers are completely gone. It means recognizing behaviors that you will no longer entertain. Walls come from fear. Standards come from self-respect. And when you lead with self-respect, you stop needing for people to validate how you feel, because your response already does that for you. That's how you stay unbothered, not by disconnecting, but by elevating your standards. Being detached isn't about indifference. It's about emotional regulation and self-respect. It's knowing you can be kind without being accessible, compassionate without being a doormat, and calm without being weak. Because listen, when you finally stop trying to control other people's behavior, you start to master your own. And here's the mirror moment for today, a question that I want to leave with you that you can reflect on. Why are you still letting people control your emotions? The moment you stop doing that, you stop giving strangers, coworkers, friends, exes, and anyone who doesn't actually really see you, the power to define your worth. And that's where the peace begins. So the next time someone tries to pull you into their chaos, remember, you do not have to attend every argument you're invited to. You can choose silence. You can choose grace. You can choose peace. And if this hit home for you, go watch my next video, how to stop doubting yourself. Because once you stop letting people shake your peace, the next step is learning how to fully stand in your power. So I'll see you there. Bye. Love you. See, bye bye. Oh my gosh, she is knocked out. Never mind. I guess you won't be saying goodbye today.